This might be a hot take, but a lot of white people are not happy. I'm Kylie, and I grew up in a very conservative area. I wanted to say that a lot of white people genuinely live some of the most miserable and isolated lives that you could even imagine. I think there are 3 reasons for this. The first is that there is just a general idea of just hyper-individualism and hoarding of resources. A lot of them are extremely stingy, don't tip well, and also don't donate to local charities. They're very isolated, and what few friends they have, their connection is built upon shared bigotry, which is obviously not a strong connection. Number 2, a lot of white people feel a sense of emptiness. They have the job, the car, the career, the kids, the Bible, but they don't feel that sense of fulfillment. I think it's because the subliminal messaging that white people get from birth is that they're so much better than everybody else. And once you're in that sort of position, you will not allow yourself to open up to other people and opportunities that would genuinely bring you joy and fulfillment. And the third reason is that a lot of white people genuinely feel like equality is the oppression of white people. That means other people getting rights means that some of ours get taken away somehow, which obviously isn't true and shows the hyper-competitive nature of being white in America.
Witness testimony is resuming in the trial of the former Illinois sheriff's deputy accused of murdering Sonya Massey. Sean Grayson is claiming self-defense after shooting Massey in her kitchen during a discussion over a pot of water on her stove. Now the state's questioning an expert on police practices who says Massey's movements were a risk to Grayson, but not a threat. ABC's Andrew Dimbert joins me now for more on that. So, Andrew, what's happening in court right now?
We're in day 5 right now. The state is continuing to call witnesses to the stand here. Right now, they've got Seth Stoughton on the stand. He is a University of South Carolina professor, and his testimony hinges on the difference between risk and threat, which could be vital to this case, because the big question here is, was the use of deadly force justified? I found some of his testimony pretty interesting here on that note of risk versus threat. Stoughton says that the moment that Grayson draws his gun, Massey has the ability but not opportunity to harm Grayson. And therefore, in his professional opinion, he says that the situation posed a risk but not a threat. And meanwhile, in court, the prosecution is playing the full body cam video. Sean Grayson is in court watching intently, even seen taking notes from time to time. Seth Stoughton's still on the stand right now as this trial continues.
So what's next in this case now, Andrew?
Well, we want to see from the prosecution and the defense on that question of, was the use of deadly force justified? The prosecution plans to show this body camera throughout the trial from Farley. That would be Dawson Farley. He responded to the scene with Grayson. The prosecution mostly using his body camera video. They say that Grayson's body camera was not on. And they also are claiming that Grayson did not want to get a medical kit after shooting Massey, claiming that she was, quote, done, that it was a headshot. That's also key to the prosecution. They also brought on Dr. Nathaniel Patterson. He's a forensic pathologist, and his testimony I found pretty explosive as well. He says that Massey could have survived if she was given medical aid. As for the defense, they're calling this a tragedy, but they are quick to point out that this is not a crime, and they plan to show the jury or convince the jury that Massey was lifting this pot of boiling hot water and was going to throw it on Sheriff Grayson, and that he feared for his life.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and some clear people are the true epitome and personification of evil, because this guy explains how the defense says that there was no crime. Last time I checked, killing a person is a crime, right? You can't do it. Not only that, I seen the video. Now the video was too graphic for me to upload here on YouTube, so you could just type it in Google, and I think you'll see a TikTok or a Twitter video still circulating around. I got it on my computer. Like I said, I can't post it up to YouTube, but yeah, it was a clear-cut case of murder. He walked in, he asked a few questions. She started, I guess, rambling some Christian scripture, rebuking him in the name of Jesus. She had her hands on the pot. She wasn't throwing it on him. She wasn't gonna throw it on him, and it wouldn't have mattered if she threw it in his direction. He could have stood back. He had a gun. The water would have never reached him. Anybody that, like, and it's not even like it was a small pot. The pot was fucking huge. So the fact that she had her hands on a huge ass pot, that by the time she lifted it, he could have fired on her. She wasn't motioning like she was gonna throw it on him. She put her hands on the pot. I don't know if it was boiling or not, but as soon as she put her hands on the pot and rebuked him, he pulled his gun, to which she got down on the floor and in the kitchen. Like, I highly doubt his life was in danger. And on top of all that is a pot of boiling water. I don't give a fuck on what planet you on. A pot of boiling water ain't gonna kill nobody. Now, you might suffer 3rd or 4th degree burns, if that, because I've had pots of water fall on me in the kitchen that were boiling. I'm still here. Like, it didn't take me out. So the fact that he felt like his life was in danger sounds like another generic explanation as to why he killed an unarmed black person. But this is the America we live in. These people say stuff, it ain't gotta make sense. They just say it and hope you dumb enough to believe it. But we know what we saw. Sort of like with George Floyd. We saw Derek Chauvin with his knee on his neck for 9 minutes. We don't care what you say about fentanyl being in the system. And that's not even what the coroner actually came to the conclusion of. That's a toxicology report. It's not the medical examiner's report. So we know what our eyes saw. So the fact that he's trying to say that he feared for his life was malarkey. Not only that, I seen the video. I know what the fuck I saw. She wasn't motioning the pot towards him. Like I said, if she was gonna throw the pot, which was a pretty fucking big pot, it wasn't like she was gonna be able to get that shit off without him firing a shot. So the fact that he opened fired on an unarmed woman, I don't even know what defense he's trying to put up. But like I said in another video, if you got the means, you're trying to keep your hide and your ass out of prison, I guess. You know what I'm saying? In America, we do have due process, habeas corpus. So if you want to defend yourself, I mean, you do have that right. However, I'm just here to be the intermediate to say that whatever defense he does propose is bullshit. And we need to start doing more of what I'm doing. When we see bullshit, just call it on it. Call bullshit out. I have reason to believe a lot of people don't call the bullshit out because a lot of people in this country are racist. So they're biased and they're blinded by their racism. And they can't just be non-biased and say, like, tell the truth. It was wrong. And whether you like black people or don't like black people, any decent human being is going to logically come to the conclusion that nobody should be killed for no damn reason. And we as a people shouldn't be accepting bullshit explanations as to why somebody got killed. We need to see what we see, trust our eyes, and convict their ass, because, I mean, that's the only way they're going to learn. A lot of these people seem to not like think that the rules apply to them. And to that other video that I posted about black people not knowing that white privilege is a real thing, this right here, if he gets off for murder, like, that's white privilege. He has the privilege to say his life was in danger, even though he had a lethal weapon on him and she had a pot of hot water. And the fact that he can say that and get acquitted shows a certain level of white privilege, because there are white people that believe that white people can do no wrong. Hell, there's even people of color in this country that believe white people can't do no wrong. And that in itself is a privilege. And we need to stop that shit, because in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, we should be judged by the merits of our actions and deeds. And nobody should get a leg up, an opportunity, or a chance to do some fucked up shit simply because of their skin color. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should be judged accordingly based off of what they do or don't do. He killed that woman, so he should be judged based off of that. And that bullshit defense that he's trying to put up, yeah, we need to not let that shit fly anymore, because it's a hindrance to this country. And people want to talk about people using the victim card or the race card. We're not going to get past that until shit like this starts getting called out and nipped in the bud. When white men that are clearly murderous race soldiers are going on a rampage, killing unarmed women and children and elderly men, hell, of any people. You know what I'm saying? I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the white dude that got killed in, what was it, Las Vegas or Arizona, one of the two. Made him get on his stomach. He had no gun. My man was, I think it was SWAT, had the submachine gun, even though he had his hands up. My man still Uzi'd him in the back while he was on the ground. Like, nobody of any color need to be get killed unarmed by police officers. That ain't why we pay taxes. We pay taxes for these motherfuckers to serve and protect us, not to fucking protect private property of millionaires and elitists and treat us like garbage and shit. And we don't pay them to be judge, jury, and executioner. That's that. So if you aren't racist and you have a working brain in your head, you'll understand this episode. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. And if you're a racist, I guess leave it in the comments. I'm gonna sift through them. And don't be surprised, like, I'm only gonna call you a racist. I'm just gonna call you what you are. So don't mind me, but don't bother me with all these bullshit stats from 2003 or your bullshit theory or your bullshit perspective or a version of shit, because I'm just gonna call you a racist. And I'm not a liberal, nor am I democratic. I'm nonpartisan, and I'm not a victim, but I understand when shit is happening. And like I said in another video, shit is either happening to black people or it's not. People are either getting killed that's unarmed by race soldiers or they're not. If you can be honest and you can answer that question, we can get along. Like I said, if you can't and you're a racist, I'm just gonna call you what you are. Makes me no never mind. In any event, if y'all like this episode, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out.
No.